Hi, this is Mary Kurek with Frontrunners Innovate, and today we have an innovative fundraiser. Let's call him that. But his official title is, or his official name is Tushar Kansal, and I hope I said that right.
You said that right.
All right, founder and CEO of a consultancy, very good play on the name, Ventures, venture capital firm, and has a strong background in finance and business advisory. Love startups, but you come from a very rich background, Tushar, of working with finance and have a CFO background, and you have some big names you've worked with. I'm going to let you share them with us. So give us a little, because I want you to start with your background. So tell us a little bit about you and what brought you into the world of raising money for startups and helping them to get their feet off the ground, so to speak.
Thank you, Mary, for having me on your interview show today. And I was always looking forward to it. Heard so much good news about the way you do it, and I was just looking forward that. So I was basically born in a small city in the foothills of the Himalayas, but later on we moved to the capital, Delhi, and I did my MBA in finance. I did my engineering, and also worked for companies like I handled private equity assignments at Deloitte and Touche, and the biggest media house here, the Times of India Group. They have a venture arm called Brand Capital. So I worked, handled I think almost $100 million worth of transactions at Brand Capital, and post that there is a Russian company, MTS, which is owned by Sistema, which is Russia's largest telecom company. I was the head of treasury there and raised almost $2.5 billion for the company. And I was a CFO with a logistics company owned by the American fund Guggenheim Partners. So this has been my corporate journey. I was always very sure I want to do one of these two things: either do finance and earn like a banker in millions, or do technology and earn like a technology guy in millions. So, it just
you and Bill
happened that
Gates, huh?
Yeah. So, but since the last 7-8 years, I'm running my company, Kansaltancy Ventures, and I invest also in companies. And we also handhold investors and startups get funded. So, we look for limited partners for venture capital funds, and we look for venture capital funds for startups. So this is about me.
So, and immediately to my mind comes when you talk about tech, and in my space, I would call it tech for good, if you will, tech for impact purposes. And granted, it's business, it's social, entrepreneurship in a way, because you're creating something that's going to, save lives or improve lives, maybe even improve on a mass level. Then I look at impact. And so the world of impact funding, do you have any comments on that? And do you work within that space?
Thank you for this beautiful question, Mary. I work very closely with impact companies like who are doing work in environmental, social, and corporate governance factors. In fact, one of my clients happened to be a solar company, and so my relationship with the impact funds goes almost 50 impact funds I would know personally. And although there is little bit of within impact also, people search for profit companies, because one has to make a return also on the investment.
Sure.
So the real kind of companies in impact which get funded are the ones who are also looking at making a profit. And other than that, very high on impact. And I love picking impact companies because they make a real difference. I'll give you an example.
Please.
There is a business process outsourcing company in Gurgaon. 42% of their workforce is women. 52% of their workforce comes from small towns. And they train, and even the people who could not clear 12th in schooling, they train these people and make them employable. So that is the kind of impact companies we see, and very happy to see the work they do.
Oh, exactly. That's economic development right there, 101. Right. And that changes lives, changes communities, and we love seeing that. That's fantastic. I'd love to hear more stories about that if you have more.
Yeah, so business process outsourcing became very strong because those countries which speak English language, they were able to get business functions outsourced from companies across US and Europe and UK, and all these functions which could be outsourced, they moved to India because India is an English speaking country, and now increasingly to Eastern European countries like Poland and Czechoslovakia, and also Southeast Asian countries like Philippines. So the problem is that people think that business process outsourcing is just call center, which
Yeah.
runs 24 by 7. But it is actually much more. It is doing your market research, doing your product ideation. It includes everything.
Mhm.
And when a company like this, they if they are picking up people from the market, for them to be very sensitive about the background of the person you are employing is something which not everyone does. So
Mhm.
that is why, when this guy came to me, I actually made him realize that, he's actually running an impact business because he's doing so much for all these people.
Yeah.
And he didn't throw out even a single person during COVID. It's been 1.5 years. He has been
Wow.
just managing somehow.
Even right now is
Even right now.
wow, that's impressive. That is impressive. Fantastic. So talk to me a little bit about your business model and how you work. How would you engage, say, a startup that came to you today and said, I'm interested in talking to you. I mean, what is the very first, the starting point in that conversation? What do you ask them so that the people listening would know?
I am very keen to know the background of the team which is running the startup, because for me we are essentially people who are putting money on other people,
Yes.
and the product might be bad, but the founder, if he has the quality in him, they or her, he will go out and change the product later. So essentially, for me it really matters what are the motivations of this person. So,
Mm-hmm.
there is a guru here, Neem Karoli Baba. So, Mark Zuckerberg and these guys, Steve Jobs, they used to visit him. Now he's no more, but he has some places where people come and do their prayers. So what I do is I take all these startups to this place, and I make them stay for 3 days. And at the night time when we are chatting and having coffee and stuff, then that is the time I get to know what are their motivations in life, why are they doing this startup. So I would like the atmosphere to be informal while understanding what these startups are doing and what their founders want to do really.
Mm-hmm.
Raising money is not a goal, it can't be a goal. End of the day, you are raising money for a purpose, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to give returns also to the investor.
Well, that's an interesting way to look at it. That is an innovative approach. I will say that for
I
sure.
don't I don't know whether it works all the time, but
You're- you
I
know,
like that approach.
the very first investor interview I did with somebody who actually sits on my advisory board, so I've known him for a while, and he invests in lots of different sort of healthcare companies, startups. And when I asked him, I said, what was the most important thing? It really wasn't what the ask was. It really wasn't, really what the product was. It was more about just exactly what you just said about the team, and wanted to know who was, where's their experience come from? Who's leading it? How long have they been leading it? Have they put their own, skin in the game, to
Yeah.
this point? And so it was really about their determination and dedication, because it's such a long haul from 0 to 60. It takes a while to do it. And so having that stick to itiveness and the actual right talent is, needs to be there. One of the things also I hear from actual investment firms that, work with people and charge tons of money for doing it is they want to see a startup have a CFO. Is that in your mind a requirement before you will work with them?
That's a very that's a very amazing question, Mary, because a lot of these startups don't have CFOs. They just have a chartered accountant who's doing their accounting,
Mhm.
and they throw all the kind of finance work to this chartered accountant, this CA.
Mhm.
So, but the CA is trained for accounting. He's not trained to create your cash flow statements, monitoring your cash flow on an Excel sheet by taking inputs, financial inputs, and projections from the different departments. The apart from CFO, a financial controller is a must, because when startups get funded, they tend to overspend. So
Mm.
the cost and the expenses have to be monitored. So either the CFO does it or the financial controller does it. But somebody has to do that function, which is a very core function.
Mm.
And so a lot of startups say that we will keep virtual CFOs, or we will keep part-time CFOs. But to my mind, if a team in a startup has a tech guy, a non-tech guy, marketing guy, a product guy, then it also should have a CFO. I'll
Mm.
give you two examples here. Look at Warren Buffett. 2008 Lehman crisis. He was offered Lehman Brothers by the US Treasury Department, that, Warren, you buy out Lehman Brothers.
Mm.
This guy is a financial wizard. He goes to his office, takes the 800-page report of Lehman Brothers, studies it within 2 days, and realizes that the business is not what it shows up, and he says no. So, decisions like that, which whether it is made by the likes of billions of dollars worth Warren Buffett, or it is made by any other investor, these depend on financial acumen, and hence having a CFO is important. And the other example is you can I forgot what I was giving the other example. I'll give it in some time.
Okay, well, you'll come up with it, I'm sure. Well, what comes to my mind now are those services that someone like you, because I know you have that in your background, you have that skill set. Is that something like your, you or your team will take on if maybe somebody, if say a startup comes to you, you like them, but then maybe they're missing a piece. I know there's other services you probably provide other than looking for money and just advising them. Tell us a little bit about that.
Uh, so, the difference between a venture capital investor and the other investors, like probably some angels, is that the venture capital investor has a process. He has an investment thesis. He has an analyst team. He has made it a very process oriented approach. And if you have a process oriented approach, then documentation becomes very important, because at each stage they will ask you for data, and you have to present yourself in the best possible terms. And don't forget, you might throw in some fake figures, but later on the investor will get to know at the due diligence stage or after investment.
Mhm.
So naturally, the best thing you can do is uh, make your business proper and take 6 months time, make it proper, and then showcase it the best way. So what I do is I help them in 5 ways. One is frequently asked questions by the investors. Second,
Mhm.
uh, unit economics, that after WeWork IPO got devolved, unit economics has become very important, that each unit which the company is selling should make money, it should be profitable.
Mhm.
Third, I help them in their term sheet negotiation. So it has clauses. The term sheet has many clauses. Term sheet is a document which the investor issues. And then I help them in due diligence. And lastly, I help them in shareholders agreement, which gets signed before investment. But I also help them in valuations, valuing the company, making their business plan, and making their pitch deck. These three are the main documents: pitch deck, business plan, and valuation. So
Mhm.
I help there also.
Those are valuable services and would expedite someone getting to the point of investment, I would think, if they don't have it all together. So for the startup that's been around for a little while, that has these things, that has the pitch deck that looks good, and the valuation and that sort of thing, what would be the next step for them with somebody like you? I mean, is there an agreement they sign with you? Do they come to you and you say, yes, I like you, I think I would like to work with you? What do you do next then to take them forward?
So what I do is that I initially, when I create the documents at that time, a lot of inputs from the founders are required, because I might be thinking of the go-to-market strategy in a particular way, but if it is not, as what the founders also think, then we will face a problem later on. And when I'm preparing the financial projections, the 5-year projections, that time also, it has to be done very closely with the founders or their CFO,
Mhm.
because all these data, it will eventually go to the investor, and we will have to answer for it. So what I do is, after I sign my engagement letter, I do their documentation, and then I start contacting the funds whose investment thesis matches with the business proposition of
Mhm.
the company. And then we get on to calls, and then we get on to term sheet, then we get on to due diligence, and lastly we sign the shareholders agreement, equity transfer happens, and then money comes. This is the whole process.
And so you have the network that you can diversity, I would think, of a network that you can, utilize them for whichever type of whatever space the people are in that come to you. So that lets me into the question of, what type of industry do you work best in, or give us some sort of framework of the ideal startup that comes to you.
Because I have more than 20 years of experience after and including high corporate experience, a lot of the founders who come to me are actually people who, did a job for 10, 15 years, and now they have learned about the sector, and now they want to create their own business. And so that does, but having said that, because I keep on giving motivational and mentoring talks to a lot of startups, so I get a lot of youngsters also. So it's actually it's actually from all walks of the corporate world. And I'm always in the process of learning. Even from youngsters I learn, even from the experienced guys I learn. So one is always learning. This is the kind of business it is.
Yeah. That's funny. I started, believe it or not, I started the work that I do in the video games industry. And so I used to laughingly
Uh-huh.
say I would have to be a mama to the two guys and a dog in a basement. I mean, the guys that were gonna, do the next Angry Birds, and that was gonna be
Right.
it. They were gonna be rich and famous, and that was gonna be it. And I'd often have to tell them, you're not just building a game, you're building a business.
Yeah.
And the first order of business a lot of times for them was to create contracts with their partners. They almost always had a best friend, a college buddy, or somebody that they knew so well that they didn't need to have a contract or anything between them to do business. I said, no, wrong. Best way to kill a friendship is
Yeah, absolutely.
to
When
not
money
have.
comes into friendship without a contract, it just
Yeah.
spoils the whole friendship.
Yeah, at least, some kind of a memo of understanding, an agreement, something that's legit that you can, hang your hat on. I've seen too many things go sour between
Yeah.
people like that. And
Yeah.
and just, understanding that it is a business and that you have to
Yeah.
treat it as such, that's the big thing. So
So
um
in fact, one of the things you were asking, which I didn't reply, was that what are the kind of sectors? So
yes.
actually, I get a lot of technology and non-technology deals.
Uh-huh.
I have done a large number of non-technology ones, so naturally, they come to me. But
Mhm.
the matter of fact is that a large number of venture capital funds who are sitting out in Singapore, Dubai,
Mhm.
US, UK, India, Hong Kong, they are actually wanting to put money in technology. And by technology, it means food tech, ed tech, education. It means fintech, financial. It means deep tech and disruptive tech and space tech. So, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So all these things have become like the favorites of venture capital guys.
Yeah. I've been hearing that as well, like from Dubai, that they're very much interested in the technology, especially as it impacts the
Because
healthcare.
it gives you scalability. Using technology, you can uh, be like 10 times revenue in 1 year, then 50 times revenue, and in terms of number of customers, 20,000, then 500,000.
Mhm.
So they love this technology. And one of the sectors which is booming nowadays is direct to consumer, D2C. So you have your own website, you have your products on the website, you do its digital marketing, and you deliver things at people's homes using logistics companies. And that thing has just taken off after COVID.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, a lot of things have happened during COVID that I think people would not have anticipated. And I've seen a lot of apps come out that were never there before, and I don't even think anybody thought about them before. So
Right.
this is interesting stuff going forward. So
Thank
tell
you.
me about the types you want to attract. You know, we're all about connecting, so, and networking. So we want to give you an opportunity to say, these are the types of people I'm looking to work with.
It's become a very jaded word, Mary. It's called hustlers. So
Am I a
everybody
hustler?
uses this word.
Oh.
So we actually, in fact, we are always looking out for hustlers.
Mhm.
Hustlers are the people who never listen to anything negative when they have already decided that the market is there, the market size is there, the proposition is strong. So they will just believe in creating.
Yeah.
And they don't like to listen to no's. They don't like to people talking negatively about anything. And these people, they would always find a way to achieve and complete a target, a goal. And also because they have the passion and the vision and they are so committed, so the others, they follow them. And in fact, they have a large following. And these people, so I just and Mary, when I meet this kind of people, suddenly some startup will come and I see hustlers. So you are able to make out, yeah, like this is a person I will put my money on.
Mhm.
So one is able to make out. That is the best part of being in this field, meeting such amazing people.
Mhm.
And people who are just trying to create something. It's not easy to create things when the negative voice is loud. You so people judging you, people judging your business, media saying something, and then practical difficulties like COVID. And so it's not easy to create. It's a very thankless kind of job. But those are the people I really admire.
That stick-to-itiveness that we were talking about. Yes. Stick to what you're doing and don't listen to all the naysayers out there. And
Yeah,
yeah, and surround yourself with a good team. Yeah.
yeah,
And yeah,
absolutely.
get
Yeah.
yourself moving forward. Well, this is fabulous. So Tushar, thank you for sharing some great information with everybody. And we're going to have you on a panel in another month. As we sit, it is the 21st of June. And so we hope to have mid-July 2021 to have a panel that will have that will spotlight you as well as a few others and answer some more questions from startups. And already I can see it's not going to just be startups that are coming. It's going to be people who run large impact organizations. So I've
Right.
already been
Okay.
hearing from some. So
Wow,
it'll
that
be an
that is amazing.
interesting conversation.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm
Yeah.
very excited. And when you had first mentioned it, I found it very enthusing, and I look forward. I immediately said yes because
Yes, you did.
I
You
just
did.
want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
really
it'll
happy
open
to.
up interesting, well, just like COVID did, it opened up doors people would never have thought or associated with a particular space. And just like I would have never guessed that the first person to jump on board when I put that out in our newsletter would be one of my own advisory board members that runs an impact organization globally that raises
Okay.
money herself globally.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, but in a different way. It's a whole different way than you would imagine. I never would have guessed you would have been the first one to jump on board and say, yes, I want in. I want to see this. I want to be a part of it. And so I think we're going to see a lot of different people who are looking for information, but also looking for maybe different models about how to do what they're doing. And maybe if there's projects that they're learning about, and that will be my guess with her, because she's out in the impact world and they can only do so much because they don't raise big monies. It's sort of like microloans in different, communities. She's probably hearing
Okay,
about bigger
got it.
projects and other people that are coming forward saying, I need some help with money. Do you know who I can, see? So that could very well be the case. So we want to definitely give those folks who are looking an opportunity to listen and hear different models of how people are helping startups out there, because the way that you do it is different really from 2 or 3 other people that I know. And so it's not a one size fits all out there. And
Yeah. Everybody is
given-
doing something.
yeah, and your background and the spaces that you want to work in aren't necessarily the same as someone else. And
Absolutely.
also, nor is it the same location. Even though you work globally, I'm sure most people do.
Right.
You may very well hear from a particular, area of the world based on the type of investors you work with. So, it's kind of different everywhere you go. But anyway, we appreciate it. And we are going to put some more spotlight on these subjects as we move forward through the summer, because we feel like a lot of areas are coming out of the pandemic and, presenting new options for how to get funded and new opportunities. Like we just said, new things are going on out there that we never dreamed would happen, to help people live better lives. So thank you very much, Tushar. We look forward to
it's my pleasure, Mary. As I said, I was looking forward to, a 20-minute talk with you. I'm feeling energetic, I can.
This is
full of ideas.
That's what we do. We love connecting people. So if you're watching this on YouTube, because it is a YouTube, and then it will also be in Frontrunners Innovate, then go to frontrunnersinnovate.com and you will be able to find out a little bit more information of Tushar and what he's doing, because we'll have some of his social links, any other links he provides us will live there on the media platform. And consider joining us. We have a really good kind of a nominal membership fee for those who maybe are starting out, maybe they have an idea or something like that, and actually get you a few minutes with us to get to know you, because we like to know who's in our pool, our membership pool, and see where we can direct them forward. So definitely check us out, if you will. And again, thank you, Tushar. We'll see you in July.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. See you. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.